All right, people, your boy, man, Mike here. Just want to give my thoughts on this whole Gary Kubiak situation here in Atlanta, man. Um, well, if you guys don't know by now, Gary Kubiak will not, in my opinion, will not be the Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator for this year, for 2019. I do not expect you know, Gary Kubiak to be an Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator. And look, man, this is the reason why. It's because John Elway was good. Demetrius, John Elway is actually cop blocking everything in sight. He does not want anyone in, you know, the NFL. Damn sure does not want the Atlanta Falcons to. Um, he does not want the Atlanta Falcons to hire uh, Gary Kubiak as offensive coordinator. And let's be honest, man. And let's be honest. All right. At this point in time, if it hasn't happened, if this guy's already blocking Gary Kubiak to be for offensive coordinator for the Falcons, man, I personally look. If Gary Kubiak wanted to be in Atlanta, he wouldn't let John Elway kind of clock block him. If he wanted to become a Falcons, if he wanted to be with the Atlanta Falcons, and this is what my boy D Pat, the real D Patman, you guys can check him out at Twitter, but D Pat told me exactly like this, and I totally agree. If Gary Kubiak wants to be Atlanta Falcons, all right, there's nothing he can do. No one can do anything to get him uh, to deter him from becoming the Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator. All right, if he wanted to be here, he would be here. So, in my opinion, man, if Gary Kubiak wants to be with the Atlanta Falcons, he will be here. The Atlanta Falcons have a ton. They have a ton of talent on offense. Okay, he doesn't have to do a lot of recruiting. He doesn't have to build team from the bottom up like he has to do with the Denver Broncos. And let's be honest, man. All right, let's be honest. If he wanted to be here, like I said before, and I'm gonna continue to say it like this, if he wanted to be here, he would be here. All right. It's a much harder um, rebuild method. If he wanted to just start out from the bottom, then he would stay with Denver. But if he wanted to be with the Atlanta Falcons and pretty much just uh, expound on, what we already have. We have a quarterback, a great quarterback, an MVP quarterback. You have Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, the best receiver in the game. You have Calvin Ridley, one of the young, up-and-coming stars at wide receiver. Austin Hooper. You have Austin Hooper, who is a Pro Bowl tight end right now. Offensive line led by Jake Matthews and Alex Mack. All right, he has a lot of weapons on offense. Devontae Freeman, Edo Smith, and up and on. It's still up and on what the Falcons would do with um, Tevin Coleman. But like I said before, man, if he wanted to become a Falcon, man, all right, he's gonna come. All right, me personally, I don't give a damn about. I'm if I was the Atlanta Falcons, I would Dan Quinn. I was Thomas Dimitrov. I'm not going to waste my time on a guy that really doesn't want to be. I'm not begging anybody for any fucking thing. Because the Falcons, they have talent on offense. They have talent on defense. And they're not in a position where they have to beg any fucking body. All right? There's a lot of people that want the Atlanta Falcons head coaching job, offensive coordinator job. Okay? There's a lot of people that want Dan Quinn's job. All right? So he's not. We're in a terrific position. All right? We don't have to beg any damn body. We don't have to beg Greg Knapp. We don't have to beg Gary Kubiak at all. So why? Why? What's good? Volunteer Roadshow. One of the early followers for me, man. I know he's a Tennessee volunteer. He's a Tennessee fan. But again, guys, if you like college football and you want to keep up on what's happening pretty much in the SEC, the Volunteer Road Show, he definitely has an awesome show. All right, I watch it myself. I don't get a lot of college football in on this channel. In the future, I definitely will. But if you guys like college football, He has a great, great, great show. All right, he has a great, great, great channel. I will definitely. All right, I don't promote anything on this channel if it's not legit. If I'm not 100% behind his channel, I don't promote it here. That's not what Man Mike Sports is about. But if you guys like college football, know what's going on in SEC, ACC, SEC, check out his channel. He definitely does what I do. He answers questions. He has guests on his show. He gets their opinions and whatnot. I love his show. I love his channel, so check that out. But to get back to what I was saying about Dan Quinn and Atlanta Falcons, Gary Kubiak, and where that is concerned, like I said before, he does not have to beg anyone. All right, he does not have to beg anyone to come to the Atlanta Falcons. All right, Gary Kubiak is a great coach. I think he's a perfect fit for the Atlanta. But like I said before, the Falcons should not in any way have to beg someone to come to their team. And like the real Patman said, all right, again, I don't promote bullshit, all right. And the real Patman, when I tell you this guy is brilliant, all right, he is fucking brilliant. This guy does some amazing stuff with his stats, his research. Man, this guy's excellent. All right, I do not promote bull crap, and this guy's brilliant. All right, a lot of stuff, a lot of information that I get personally that I want to relate to you guys, the Atlanta Falcons fans. Even Georgia Bulldogs fans. He definitely. I get a lot of my information from him. So if you guys, you like stats, you like research, you want the truth, all right, the honest truth, and not stats that a lot of these channels, a lot of these journalists just pull out their ass to justify their point. That's not what Real Patman about. That's not what Mad Mike Sports is about, and this is not what Unintentional Ground is about. We are here to give you guys the truth of the matter, all right, from all aspects, all right, stuff you don't want to hear about and things you need to hear. The truth, all right. We dissect and we get down to the nitty gritty. That's what we all about. So, you guys follow him on Twitter, the Real Patman, on Twitter. You can also check out Unintentional Grounding Discord. You can go to Lieutenant Dan, Unintentional Ground, the channel, the website, and you can definitely find the Discord to that. So, again, man, like I said before, if you guys like honest and real stats, all right, you definitely would like that. As far as you know, as the Atlanta Falcons are concerned, Patman, the Patman, my host of other guys, Rashad, Bobby Childs, another guy that is, like I said, he's brilliant also, man. When it comes down to another up and coming show, he's just he just kind of got started with his YouTube channel, so you guys can go through that. I will have a link in the description to go to the Vanilla Falcon, a guy that is outspoken. He's definitely brilliant, and he's, like I said, like myself, Patman, Dan, Lieutenant Dan, Rashad, all these guys, we give you the truth of the matter. None of that watered down bull crap that you see from ESPN, that you see from Fox Sports. That's not what we do. That's not what we do, man. We talk sports from all angles, all aspects, and we don't water shit down. All right. This is not a watered down channel whatsoever. All right. So you guys, definitely. Volunteer real show. We definitely will do that. We talk a lot of sports, man. So we would definitely will get in touch with you. Your boy man Mike definitely will get back to you about that to promote the Vanilla Falcon. unintentional grounding. Dan Spencer, aka Lieutenant Dan. All right, we definitely will be getting back with you. But as far as the Atlanta Falcons are concerned, man, like I said before, um, the Falcons aren't in a position or they need and they have to beg anyone. All right, these guys have a ton of coaches that are calling them interview action. All right, these guys are acting and begging for interviews. Why would any coach not want to play and want to be, call plays for a guy like Julio Jones? All right, Julio Jones, the best receiver in the game. All right, he's the best receiver in the game. Why do he need? Why do the Falcons feel the need to have to beg Gary Kubiak? If Gary Kubiak wants to be here, he will be here. A guy that myself and the real Patman kind of had a conversation about is Adam Gase. I think this guy is a terrific fit. When you look at again, I will have a lot of the stats in the link in the description, or you can also check out my community tab when I post a lot of Patmans and myself stats and whatnot. You guys can check that out. But Adam Gase is another guy that pretty much plays a lot of 21, 11 personnel. Pretty much, if you guys don't understand that, the Falcons run a lot of shotgun, one back, two tight ends, formations and whatnot. And Adam Gase is one of those guys that, runs something similar to the LA Rams. All right, the LA Rams. Again, you guys can check that out. I will have the links and I will have the links and the stats to those right after this show. But like as far as I was saying about the Atlanta Falcons, Adam Gase is one that I really have. The one that I have in mind that I think will be pretty damn good is Adam Gase. I think he's at this moment in time. I think he's the perfect. I think he's the perfect for the Falcons. Adam Gase. You guys can do the research. Like I said before, I'll have that in the community tab for you guys to check that out. But man, let's talk. Let's talk about what you guys see, what you guys want in the offseason for the Atlanta Falcons. Offensive coordinator, as far as free agents and the draft is concerned. Myself, as far as the draft is concerned, man, the Golden Rooster, defensive lineman, 2019 NFL draft. Me personally, I have no clue to be honest. But two guys that I would like to see, depending on how things go in the in free agency. Like I said before, I think a player that the Falcons should keep an eye on um, is Calais Campbell. I think he will be released real soon. I think he's will make somewhere in the neighborhood of 15, 16 million. And with Jacksonville, these guys are trying, or they are trying to cut cost at, because they have a mess at quarterback. At Blake Bortles is a guy they're trying to get rid of. He signed a $60 million contract extension. It was ignorant from the very beginning. But Calais Campbell is the guy that I think the Falcons should go after if he is, and in fact, released by the Jaguars. The Falcons are in desperate need of a lineman, a guy that can play across the board at each uh, defensive line position, and the Falcons are in desperate need of a left end, or a left end that can play in the base formation, kind of stop the run, get to the quarterback, playing that role that Michael Bennett played in Seattle, where he could be, the left end, run on early downs, and then pass rushing situation, he can come in and play the three technique. So the Falcons, Calais Campbell is a guy that I think will fit perfectly in that role. So check out him in free agency. Another guy that I like um, in free agency that may be available is Dante Fowler Jr. Don't know if the Falcons would like to pay him what he needs, but if he come down on his price, what if I can fit him somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 million to $10 million to play alongside um, alongside Grady Jarrett to go with Tack McKinley because unlike I say it like this. Um, Vic Beasley is one of those players that I like with the Atlanta Falcons, but the way money is constructed with this team, I cannot see him being here for the long term. I think he's a guy that definitely wants to be paid, and I can't see him not getting what he feels he's worth. This is he's this is just going into his fifth year. The tag, his fifth year option will be in the neighborhood of $12 million. It will be $12 million, and I don't think he would. I don't think a guy would, pass up a huge payday to just stay with the Atlanta Falcons. Thomas Dimitroff, Dan Quinn, these guys have stated that they haven't lost any confidence in him. But confidence is one thing. That paycheck say another thing. The salary cap says another thing. So when you look at Grady Jarrett, Tack McKinley, Vic Beasley, which one of these guys you would rather pay? And at this moment, you have to say Grady Jarrett. Vic Beasley, his numbers, his play, his consistent play is really is lacking. So he may be the odd man out, along with the linebacker that you guys need to keep play close attention to, who could become trade bait, and that's Devondre Campbell. With the emergence of Foye Olokun, I think he would be a guy that, next year and the year after, Olokun could be that guy who emerges as that weak side or strong side linebacker position. So when you look at the Falcons defense, they have a ton of guys, a ton of talent on the defensive side of the ball. And I just don't see how Vic Beasley, with the contract that he will command, that he can get from other teams, I think he's better suited for outside linebacker in the 34 scheme. Um, but I just don't think the Falcons have a ton of money. They don't have a ton of money, have to sign. They really have to figure out what they're going to do with Devontae Freeman and his contract, along with Desmond Trufant. So the Falcons don't have a lot. They really don't have a lot of money, a ton of money. So uh, Vic Beasley could be a guy that you look in free agency, off season, to be traded or look for offers. What does he command? Someone in the neighborhood of 7 and a 4. I think you can possibly get a first rounder for a Vic Beasley, depending on the team and their needs. But it will be more so a lower first round pick. I don't think you can get anything higher than a 20 pick for Vic Beasley. Just don't think he has that type of market. But you never know. Um, Anybody who is in desperate need of a pass rush, Vic Beasley may be a guy that they see some potential in. They feel like they can get something out of. So you never know. Um, you look at what the Saints do. They gave up 2 number 1 picks for Marcus Davenport. So, shit, it's not out of the question that you can get Vic Beasley can get at least a 1. At least he showed us something as far as his pass rush potential. But as far as the Falcons keeping him and the salary cap that they have, I don't think that's something they can do. As far as Golden Rooster, I don't think anyone from the offensive line is leaving. The offensive line is pretty much up in shambles. Outside of Jake Matthews and Alex Mack, you can pretty much see that Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff, and they stated in their presser that they are not happy with the offensive line. Anything and everything could possibly go down as far as the draft. I don't think they would dip too much in offensive line. You may see them somewhere in the neighborhood of third and fourth round. I don't think you can afford, especially where the defense is concerned. Um, Dan Quinn wants his defense to be successful. He wants to have one of the top defenses in the NFL, so I can't see the Falcons dipping too early for offensive linemen. Depending on how they dip into free agency, possibly they draft a guy in the first 3 rounds as far as the offensive lineman concerned. But I expect them to dip in free agency, and possibly make a trade for a guy, maybe like a Forrest Lamp. That teams, he's still young, that they have pretty much given up on. They could go that route, but as far as drafting an offensive lineman, I don't think that'll happen. Falcon will most likely go in free agency to pick up a couple of, young vets here and there. But as far as the drafting concerned, I don't expect the Atlanta Falcons to draft a guy so in the neighborhood of, I say, 4 to 7 rounds. um, King Kill. Yeah, he definitely wanted. I say that just a few seconds ago. He wanted to pretty much get rid of everyone except for Mac and Matthews. Mac and Matthews are the only ones safe on the offensive line. So I tell you guys again, man, offensive line, defensive line, we could see some major changes next year because they've been getting beat up on the defensive line. These guys definitely have talent, but they need guys that are tough, that are physical, to compete because they're getting their ass kicked. All right, the Falcons are getting their ass kicked. They can't stop the run. They can get after the quarterback, but in the NFL, you have to have the ability to stop the run, and they can't stop the run, especially with a young core of linebackers. They're still learning their craft. Foyer, Duke Riley, Deion Jones is pretty much a star. One of those guys that I think he will be gone. I like him as a solid player, but I don't think you can afford to pay him too much money. They have to let someone go, and I think Devondre Campbell will be one of those guys that will be gone. But expect full, complete change as far as the offensive line. Um, Vic Beasley or Fowler, man. Consider what I said about Dante Fowler and Vic Beasley. These guys being Vic Beasley being more so of a smaller defensive lineman, defensive end / outside linebacker. I think the Falcons want to concentrate on stopping the run, and Vic Beasley may be one of the odd man out on the defensive line. I think Jack Crawford would definitely be back. I love what he brought to the defense, being one of those solid rotational uh, players that the Falcons definitely need on the defensive side of the ball. But like I said before, man, keep an eye on as far as free agency is concerned. I will keep a close eye on Fowler, um, Calais Campbell, and a couple of other names. Right, I can't kind of get a grips on, but Schaub needs to go. I don't expect Schaub to be back on a $5 million deal. I just can't see the Falcons um, paying a guy $5 million to be a backup for Atlanta. I just can't see. They're already strapped for cash right now, so don't expect Matt Schaub to come back for that price. If he comes back, expect a significant drop off in pay. I think he is right now a guy um, that we could possibly bring back, so in the neighborhood of $2-3 million to be a backup / coach for Matt Ryan, but they can't continue to pay him $5 million to be a backup. For the most part, Matt Ryan has been healthy for his entire career. But you can't continue to pay $7 to $5 million, $5 to $7 million, excuse me, to pay a backup that may not ever get in the game. So don't expect him to be back. Adam Levitre, he definitely is gone. Right guard, it will most likely see At right guard, we will most likely see Brandon Fusco coming back from his broken ankle. I expect him to be the starter at right guard next year. Right tackle, don't know what to expect, but um, I would say that Ryan Schrader has not done himself any justice the way he's played this year. Pass protection has been god awful. With the level he's been playing at, with the money that he is commanding, I do not expect him to be back. So look for the Atlanta Falcons to at least try to trade him for something. Um, if they can't trade him for at least a 5 to 7 round draft pick, expect him to be outright released. Just get rid of the bad contract, because, like I said before, the Falcons are strapped for cash, and having a guy who can't live up and pay him that much money just isn't worth it. Just get rid of him altogether. Coleman is Coleman Stan. Is Tevin Coleman Stan? And honestly, man, I have no idea. I have no idea if he is staying. I know Tevin Coleman didn't do himself any justice. And I know my boy Tenny Dan, he does not like to talk about it. He does not like saying it. But let's be honest, man. Tevin Coleman and the offensive line really didn't do themselves any justice, man. Tevin Coleman, in my opinion, should have been a 1,000-yard rusher. I think he has that amount of talent, but he just didn't run the way I thought he should have. And he solidified himself as a backup. He's a rotational He's a rotational piece. He's a rotational piece, aka slash change of pace back. I think he is an excellent complement to Devontae Freeman and vice versa. So I think you see at least 2 more years of Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. If I took a educated, these guys will most likely be back, but I don't expect Tevin Coleman to be back no more than 3 years. So if he should come back to the Falcons team, expect him to sign a contract somewhere in the neighborhood, in my opinion, 3 years, $25 million. I think that's a stretch to even, to sign him for anything over 25 million. I'm not doing it. I think you have a back, and Ito Smith and Devontae Freeman. These guys can pretty much carry the rock. I think they have similar styles of running, so there isn't a huge drop off at running back. I think Ito Smith is a star, a future star, at least a very good back at the least. I really like what I see from Ito Smith. I think he is pretty much a Devontae Freeman clone. But as far as Tevin Coleman coming back, I do not expect him to come back. Trail T, they can just cut Vic Beasley. Yeah, they can. They can do that, but um, do you want to just cut a Vic Beasley? Why not try to just trade the guy? It's not like Vic Beasley just sucks. All right, he hasn't been consistent. He hasn't lived up to the spot that we drafted at. All right, once you draft a guy in the top 10, you expect him to be a mega star, a superstar. You expect him to be a JJ Watt. You expect him to be a Khalil Mack. And Vic B hasn't been that. The last couple of years, he hasn't been that. All right, he won the sack title, but he hasn't been that since. So when you look at Vic Beasley, no, he isn't a star defensive end, but he has value. And I don't think you just let that go. If the Atlanta Falcons should, That's an option. I can't say that Vic Beasley being outright released is an option. I don't think he'll be released. I think it's more so that they want pick up that fifth-year option and let him, become a free agent. That's something that can happen, but only way that happens if they definitely make a trade for a guy. Uh, I maybe they believe in Tack McKinley and they just let Vic Beasley walk and either trade for a guy that could, that could possibly, I would say they would possibly bring in a guy that could, play for someone in the neighborhood of $5 million, $7 million a year that can put up the same numbers that Vic Beasley does, and just call it a day, call it quits. I mean, sometimes things just don't work out for players, and Vic Beasley he is a pretty good player, but I don't think he's one of those players that is going to command a humongous contract with the lack of consistency that he's had in a couple of years. Um, I mean, Golden Rooster, how's that fair? Wasn't the O line injury? Yes, that is. But as far as the offensive line, when you look at the guard, left guard, right tackle position, these guys just haven't been consistent. Ron Schrader has been god awful. All right, let's make no mistake about it. This guy's been beat to shreds by everyone that has stood up against him. And D-Pat, he kind of brought this to light that a lot of teams have kind of switched philosophy. Most of their best pass rushers are lined up on the left side of the defense and the right side of the offense. And this is right. Ryan Schrader has definitely, has struggled. He struggled in pass protection. So the Falcons would definitely have to get a right tackle. I thought that Tyler Sombrero, he filled in quite well in place of Ryan Schrader. So I expect him to be back. But yes, the offensive line did, in fact, struggle in pass protection. But, I don't think that's an excuse, man. As far as right guard, the guard position, they really have to upgrade that position. I don't think Wes Weiser is the answer in the long term. I think he's better suited for an inside zone scheme. The Falcons run more of a outside zone scheme. It doesn't. It really doesn't maximize his strengths. It doesn't play to his strengths. Again, Wes Weiser is not an incredible athlete. He's an okay athlete, but he's better suited for the inside zone. So I think the Falcons will most likely look to upgrade the left guard position. I think Brandon Fusco will be here for at least 1 to 2 more years while they draft a guy to take over as the right guard. But the offensive line, man, yes, they have been um, a little bit up and down this year, but Ryan Schrader ass is gone. All right, he's gone for a fact. All right, there's no doubt about it that he is gone. But as far as Vic Beasley is concerned, man, I don't think the Falcons can afford to continue to bring him back um, for a huge contract with the lack of consistency. Especially when you have a guy like Grady Jarrett who's going to command somewhere near $100 million at defensive tackle, and uh, you have Deion Jones, you have Ken O'Neal. These guys' contracts coming up. I just don't see how Vic Beasley is going to be the answer here long term in Atlanta. I just don't see it. I think the Falcons would definitely listen for any offers for Vic Beasley. If it's anywhere near uh, a second pick in a second round NFL draft, I think you listen to it. I think you take it and draft a younger guy. You have to draft a younger guy and kind of start up. Vic Beasley, I like what he's done. I like him as a player. I like his skill set. But here in Atlanta, when you look at what he's surrounded by, the Falcons need a defensive line that is more physical, who can stop the run, and Vic Beasley just doesn't fit well. Especially when you consider the fact that Bruce Irvin, who was brought here, and one of his first messages here when he signed with the Atlanta Falcons was, I'm not here to take anyone's place." I think that was a sure sign for me and a lot of people that he was here to take Vic Beasley's spot. So I expect the Falcons to re-sign Bruce Irvin, somehow get some draft picks for Vic Beasley, and kind of trade his rights to another team, have them pick up that fifth-year option, and let him pretty much go about his business, man. Because like I said before, what the Falcons need on defense, I don't think Vic Beasley is a long-term solution here in Atlanta. So no, his contract is just, Falcons don't have a lot of wiggle room as far as contract is concerned, and Vic Beasley may be the odd man out. But yes, he makes plays, and Vic Beasley is without a doubt a terrific athlete. I think he can add value to a team. I think he can still be a Pro Bowl uh, defensive end if he gets two things. He really needs to kind of improve on his pass rushing moves. That speed rush is just not going to do it on its own. He has to get a secondary pass rush move. Um, he really needs to call up Chuck Smith. He needs to call up Big Chuck Smith and help teach this guy how to do something beside that speed rush, because everyone in the league has caught up to Vic Beasley, and he's to a point where he's absolutely stubborn, and he doesn't want to change his who he is. He feels like he has enough talent to just solely get by on his speed. I don't agree, but the way he's failed to use any move outside the speed rush tells me that he's not really happy or concerned with getting a new pass rush move, man. But as far as this offensive coordinators is concerned, man, again, and I'll end with this: Gary Kubiak being considered as the Falcons offensive coordinator. I don't think you hire. If I was the Atlanta Falcons, and this is just my take on this, man, I'm not begging this guy to come. All right, I'm not begging this guy to come. If I was the Atlanta Falcons, I'm pretty much saying to myself, and Dan said this earlier today when I had a chat with him. He said this earlier today that if I was the Atlanta Falcons, I would be looking at a much younger offensive coordinator, because Matt Ryan has had enough offensive coordinators. He's made a lot of guys rich. He's made a ton of offensive coordinators jobs. If he's getting these guys jobs, you can take a look at Mike Mularkey, Dirk Cutter, Kyle Shanahan. A lot of these guys, man. Even look, I even say that he pretty much carried Mike Smith. He carried Mike Smith for years. All right, Mike Smith stayed here for years because of Matt Ryan. All right, he couldn't get anything done on the defensive side of the ball. The only reason why Mike Smith won as many games is because of Matt Ryan and that offense. So when you look at it, Matt Ryan needs a young offensive coordinator who can come in, learn pretty fast, and call plays. He needs to be here for at least the next 3 years. All right, Matt Ryan needs a consistent offensive coordinator. He needs it. He needs it. We can't continue to have a revolving door offensive coordinator. Every 2 years, we lose an offensive coordinator to a job. Unfortunately, Steve Sarkisian didn't work out. But like I said before, man, I just don't think at this moment in time that the Falcons should beg Gary Kubiak to become, to come to Atlanta Falcons. If he wanted to be here, he can be here. All right. To hell with all the rumors that's saying, that John Elway is blocking Gary Kubiak from coming to Atlanta, interviewing with the Atlanta Falcons for the offensive coordinator position. I don't think that's the case. If he wanted to be here, he's going to be here. All right. He's going to quit his job. He's going to quit his position as the talent evaluator with the Denver Broncos. I believe that's his position. But if he wanted to be here, he'll be here. All right. There's no way that anyone can, keep him from, taking the job elsewhere. So I know a lot of Falcons fans don't want to hear that, but that's the fact of the matter. That's the truth of the matter, man. This guy wanting to be here, he'll be here. I'm not begging him. All right, I'm not begging him. The Falcons have a lot of weapons on offense. Any offensive coordinator, any coach that wants to be anything, that wants a job, would come to the Atlanta Falcons. All right, this guy has Julio Jones, the best receiver in the game. I don't know any offensive coordinator in this league who would not want a Julio Jones, a Matt Ryan at their disposal. You have a Devontae Freeman, Ito Smith. Ito Smith is an up-and-coming running back that I think will be tremendous for the Falcons in the future. Calvin Ridley is a young freaking stud with 10 freaking touchdowns, 864 yards receiving this year. You have Austin Hooper, a Pro Bowler. Alex Mack, who's going to be here for at least the next 3 years, for at most the next 3 years. Jake Matthews, who signed a big deal, so he would definitely be the right tackle for the Falcons for a while. But like I said before, man, the Falcons have a lot of weapons on offense, and any coach that wants to be successful, that wants their name in the bucket to become a head coach, consideration to be a head coach, you have to say that the Falcons are a front runner for any coach that wants their name in the spotlight. All right, Atlanta is the team for any offensive coordinator, any offensive coach that wants their name in consideration to be a head coach. You have to say that Atlanta is the favorite. So if Gary Kubiak is going to allow John Elway to block him from seeking other jobs, he doesn't really want to be here, and I'm not begging him. That's just my take on it. Shaquille Holland, fuck the bull job. How much will we pay Julio and Grady Jarrett? Julio Jones. Man, gosh. That's tricky, man. That's really tricky. I know there's been a lot of speculation on how much the Falcons would pay Julio Jones, but I don't think. I think the Falcons will more than likely backload his contract. I'm expecting Julio Jones for the next 2 years to receive a deal, a team-friendly deal that will help the team in the future, but will also give Julio Jones, make him one of the highest paid receivers in the league. Um, to be honest, I don't think Julio is really, he just want to be compensated. All right, he wants to be compensated. He wants he just wants security, and I expect the Falcons to pay him so in the neighborhood of 17 to 18 million. Well, 15. No, I take that back. I think it'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of 17, $18 million a year for the next 2 years or so. 3-year contract. I don't think Julio will be gone anywhere anytime soon. As far as Grady Jarrett is concerned, I would look for him to be here, a contract for at the very least $80 million, $80 million to $100 million a year. And I know a lot of people's like, Grady Jarrett, is he worth $100 million? You're damn skippy. Your goddamn Skippy Grady Jarrett is worth it. This guy is a freaking beast. All right, if you get a guy in the draft, maybe like a, I know a ton of people are high on Ed Oliver. I don't think Ed Oliver will be with the Atlanta Falcons. I think he'll go before the Atlanta Falcons pick. So you most likely look at a guy like Rashawn Gary. Christian Wilkins is a guy that I think who would most likely be with the Atlanta Falcons. I know a lot of people are thinking about um, cornerback for Georgia, DeAndre Baker, Greedy Williams, maybe an offensive lineman. Offensive lineman is a stretch for this team, but I think wholeheartedly and without a doubt, if I had my way, that Christian Wilkins would be the perfect guy for the Atlanta Falcons. He has the ability to play, that base end that the Falcons so desperately need. They have a guy in DJ Sanaa who can pay the one tech and be that run stopper for the Falcons. But for the most part, man, the Falcons just need a guy who can, play a base defensive end. They need a defensive tackle who can play alongside Grady Jarrett, who can also stop the run, but be a disruptive force. And they need a defensive end. They need another defensive end. So when you look at the what Grady Jarrett is worth, man, I gotta say somewhere in the neighborhood between $80 million and $100 million. So and that may average somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to $18 million a year. So expect that for Grady Jarrett. As far as the special teams, man, I know a lot of people are kind of worried if. I know a lot of people probably not even paying attention to this. Especially after last night with Chicago Bears situation. I don't want to have a kicker problem. I don't want to have a kicker problem, bro. Okay, this guy this guy has already, received death threats for missing kicks. So I don't want to have to deal with that shit. I don't want to have to deal with that shit. So I say the Atlanta Falcons bring back Matt Bryant next year. I don't think he retires. I think they have to be cautious and try to re-sign a guy like what was the kicker? What's the kicker name? But uh, Giorgio Tivecchio. That's a guy that they have to keep close to them. But I think for sure Matt Bryant will be back with the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, that's crazy. Falcons, the Falconator HD. What's good, man? Appreciate you joining the channel. If you guys have not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Another thing, if you guys can go check out one channel for me, and that's Vanilla Falcon. Just search. Put this in your search. All right. Go to your YouTube search and put Vanilla Falcon. Your boy Bobby, he just put up a video that I personally think is excellent, and for some, it's a perfect video for me personally because he's one of those Atlanta Falcons fans who is a complete. He takes pride in being a Ryanite. If you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, you know what a Ryanite is. He calls himself a proud Ryanite. He just released a video yesterday that that I thought was excellent. It's about 30 minutes long, so if you guys can be patient and watch it, I think it's an excellent video. Personally, he does a great job. He's an up-and-coming YouTuber also. Again, you can check out Lieutenant Dan at Unintentional Grounding. Our staff, man, like I said, our staff is incredibly deep, knowledgeable, and we don't take a lot of bullshit, all right? We don't do a lot of bullshit, all right? That's what we don't do a lot of. We don't give you bullshit. We're not going to bullshit you. We're going to give you our honest opinions, whether you like it or not. We're going to look at it on all aspects. What if this happens? What if this person isn't here? And what if they are? What it takes to keep them? Can we keep them? All right, the reality of everything. This is what Man Mike Sports, Unintentional Grounding, The Real Deep Patman, Vanilla Falcon, all these guys. All right, we give you the real, all right, and honest opinion. All right, we're not gonna do this LeBron thing. We're not gonna be LeBron fanboys. We're not gonna be Julio Jones fanboys. If Julio Jones isn't worth whatever, we're gonna give you the truth about what Julio Jones is worth. All right, whatever Matt Ryan is worth, we're gonna give you the truth of the matter what Matt Ryan is worth. We don't do a lot of sugarcoating here, so we're gonna give you the honest truth of the matter. All right, we're not gonna continue to continuously hate on guys, like we've seen multiple times from other channels and a lot of big sports channels and whatnot. We're gonna give you the honesty. We're gonna give you our honest opinions. But man, I can't wait for this. The Golden Rooster, man. I can't wait for this up and coming season and the off season. I think the off season is going to be something special. Like seriously, bro. I really expect something to happen. I don't know what, but no, I take that back. I think we will see this off season. Do not get comfortable in seeing a Devontae Freeman. Don't get comfortable or expect to see Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman. Julio Jones may not be out of there. If Julio Jones gets to a point where he's asking for too much money, Julio Jones could very well be traded. All right? Don't be surprised about anything this offseason. Desmond Trufant, all right? Do not get attached to him. Do not. Anything this postseason can and will happen. I think this is one of those years, man, like I said before, that expect the unexpected. Truly expect the unexpected. And another thing that I want you guys to keep a close eye on is, if Dabo Swinney somehow beats the Alabama Crimson Tide later on tonight, do not, all right, be surprised if this guy says, you know what, I've won 2 national championships. I want a challenge. And maybe he comes to Atlanta to be offensive coordinator. I don't think that happens because I think he, truly, really loves Clemson and that fan base. So do not expect that to happen. But I tell you guys, I wouldn't doubt. Just keep a close eye on that situation, man. As far as the Saints winning the Super Bowl, who fucking cares? I just don't care about them. Really don't care about the Saints. The Saints can kiss my ass. They can kiss my ass. John Elway. Why is John Elway being the dick and not letting the Falcons interview Gary Kubiak? Like I said before, well, I don't think I kind of went over this about John Elway. John Elway is a terrible general manager. All right, he's a terrible general manager, and he's trying his best to keep a close eye on the guy that he knows can get the job done. And Gary Kubiak has proven himself in the NFL to get results. When you go back in Houston, his days at Houston, he's been a pretty good offensive coordinator. Denver Broncos, long history of success as an offensive coordinator and a talent evaluator. So they don't have a quarterback. I think maybe that's another reason why they're keeping Gary Kubiak here. Keeping Gary Kubiak in as a talent evaluator. There are speculation that Gary Kubiak really doesn't want to be an offensive coordinator. I'm not sure if that's true, but it is what it is. Like I said before, if Gary Kubiak wants to be here, he's going to make an effort to be here. I'm not begging him. his ass can stay in Denver and continue to lose all the fuck year. I am not going to beg anyone, if I'm Dan Quinn, Tommy Dimitrov, to come to Atlanta. You can screw off. You can fuck off. If I have to beg you to be an offensive coordinator, I don't want you here whatsoever. Antoine, what's good, man? What's good, man? Man, look, man, you already know how I do it, man. Um, just talking a lot of stuff, man. Just talking a lot of stuff on the Atlanta Falcons, man. But again, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. You guys, if you are in this live chat right now, please hit that subscribe button. Every subscriber matters on this channel. If you guys can go in the link to the description and hit that donate to this channel, feel that I am worth, alright, it can be a fucking penny. It can be $1, 50 cents, $20, $50, 5,000, $200,000. You feel that's what I'm worth, man? Help your boy out. I'm really trying to get this channel to a point where it's running on autopilot and I can be of service to you guys, the fan base, the Atlanta Falcons fan base, future YouTubers, journalists, writers, anything and everything. I want to use this platform to help you guys. All right, this is what Man Mike Sports is all about. All right, it's for the people. I'm for the people, and that's what I'm all about, man. Antoine, again, if you guys haven't subscribed to his channel, man, check him out. He also has a channel, man. Again, support, man. I appreciate everyone's support. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, um, I will do my best to answer them. And I'm gone, baby. I'm out. Peace.